Welcome, eight-legged freaks, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews from Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And yes, we are back to discuss another retro movie. And this time we're actually going to stay true to our word. We mentioned after we did our Warner Brothers animated that we were going to start delving into the Pixar oeuvre. And we're going to attempt to try to keep these as sequential as humanly possible, but there are definitely going to be breaks in between. There might be a movie or an event we have to discuss at some point. And I'm actually thinking that during Oscar season, we might want to bring up the two Pixar movies that were nominated for Best Picture.
Up and Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. So we might not follow the order directly, but until we make a decision on that, because everything is a game day decision with us, we're flying by the seat of our pants. Tonight, we are discussing the 1998 number 2 Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Meaning it was released second, A Bug's Life.
It's fine.
I kind of feel like this is the kind of movie that a lot of people, especially people our age, don't tend to get that nostalgic about, as compared to like Toy Story, as compared to Nemo, as compared to Monsters Inc. Recently, I was on the Movies After Work podcast where we were kind of ranking our Pixar films, and Alex Duez, who, Alex, I hope you're watching this right now because we're talking about A Bug's Life, man. Alex loves this movie. Absolutely. I don't remember if this was his number 1. It was damn close.
I mean, hey, good for him. It's not a bad movie. It's just, for me, when you compare it against most of the other movies that Pixar makes, it's kind of unremarkable.
Well, I kind of feel like if you take the generations, the phases, if you will, of Pixar, they all get stuck with a Cars movie in between them for some odd reason.
It's true.
Yeah, no, I'm not lying. This one, I feel still kind of falls by the wayside. I think quality-wise, the more I watch this, I tend to enjoy this one more than Finding Nemo. Like, Finding Nemo used to be like really super high up, and now it's kind of like, it's just... It's still good. It definitely still has its charms, and I really love it. And we will talk about that in a few weeks. But
what's interesting, I just made the connection. Pixar and the MCU kind of have a similar trajectory. Starts off with Iron Man, Toy Story, then they have The Incredible Hulk, Bug's Life, and then they have Iron Man 2, Toy Story 2. This is kind of like The Incredible Hulk.
This is kind of like The Incredible Hulk. It's the movie that
fine.
You are either ambivalent about. Nobody hates A Bug's Life.
Right, yeah. People
don't hate A Bug's Life like they hate The Good Dinosaur or they hate the Cars movies. And, again, Alex, pointing this one out at you. A lot of call-outs on this one. You're getting tagged on Twitter. I really feel like this movie is one a lot of people sleep on. I genuinely enjoy this movie because it does a lot of it. First of all, establishes that Toy Story wasn't a fluke.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like the animation is getting better.
It is definitely an improvement upon the Toy Story technology, which is amazing because it's only 3 years later.
It is. But also this for this early era has got one of the best cast set of voices out of any Pixar movie.
I would agree with that.
I would venture to say that probably the only movie in the entire oeuvre of Pixar films that has an overall better ensemble is probably Inside Out. But
you're liking that oeuvre.
I love that term oeuvre because I can pronounce it. That's why.
Can't spell it though.
O-U-V-R-A. Yeah, no.
I thought there was an E in there somewhere too.
Yeah, there is an E in there. There might be a hyphen in there too. There might be an apostrophe. I don't know. I don't spell French. But yeah, no, I feel like
think about the
this
Frenches. They have no word for entrepreneur.
the funny thing about this movie too is that it introduced the short-lived blooper reel.
Yeah. Wow, that was short-lived. I kind of wish they kept doing that.
They did it for 3 movies. They did it for Bug's Life. They did it for Toy Story 2, and they did it for Monsters Inc. And then they stopped.
I guess it just felt it wasn't worth the extra animation.
I don't know, but it's just so much fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially because what followed. I mean, they would do stuff like they would start doing like those little like mid-credit scenes. Like actually, when you think about Nemo, the scene of Gil and everybody getting they're finally in the bags and they roll out. Now what?
And say what you will about the Cars, but the mid-credit sequence for I think I want to say it was Cars, the first Cars movie, where it has John Ratzenberger like noticing like, oh, wait a second, they have the same guy doing the same voice.
Yeah. Now when was the first time you saw Bug's Life?
Actually, right before we did our Pixar Geek Salad episode.
Really? So like only 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, I had never seen it before.
Wow.
It was never really on my radar.
Okay. I saw this theater first run. That's why like the end credit bloopers was just like it was mind blowing to me about how funny they were. This is also one of the very first DVDs I ever bought.
Ooh.
Like I bought my DVD player and I bought, let's see, what were the first DVDs I bought? It was American Pie and A Bug's Life. It was 1999.
Actually, my first the first anime first DVD I bought was anime.
Okay.
It was a complete collection of Tenchi Muyo, which I still have, like right over here
somewhere. I know I definitely have the Bug's Life, and I'm pretty sure I could find my copy of American Pie. But yeah.
Oh. Right here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Very, very good series too.
So a little production history on A Bug's Life, which we don't tend to get into unless we're trying to just like dive deeper into something. But Bug's Life was in development around the time that Katzenberg left Disney.
Yeah.
And so when he was working with their DreamWorks animation studio, he's like, oh, by the way, Disney's coming up with this Bug movie. We need to come up with our own Bug movie. And that was around the same year that like Armageddon Deep Impact came out. And the year before was like Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Yeah.
And it was like the two competing animated Bug movies. Ants, which at the time I felt was really, really clever, but the animation has aged horrifically. And Bug's Life, which suffice to say, even though I kind of feel like some of the character coloring just feels like they were being identified by like a blue or red, purple color. That's not how actual bugs are, tinted in this world. The actual overall animation, the character design it still stands up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
hold on one second. I feel a sneeze come. No, never mind.
As
soon as I said it, it went away.
That's how that works, man. That's how that works. I wish more people knew that.
But yes, apparently, Katzenberg and Steve Jobs got into a phone call, and Steve Jobs was pissed.
Oh yeah.
And of course, Katzenberg later afterwards claimed, "Oh, I didn't realize that they were working on an ant movie." Yeah, they started production. They started developing the idea in 1994, which is pretty much the same year you left. So, cut the crap.
Yeah, it's just funny too when you watch documentaries like Waking Sleeping Beauty.
Oh yeah.
and like the Katzenberg era, and I'm like, I would probably kill myself if I worked in that studio at that point.
Oh yeah. Oh, we need to edit this. You can't really edit an animated movie the same way you can a movie.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
You know nothing. Shut up.
Let's talk a little bit about the movie itself now, though. I mentioned before, the voice cast,
yeah,
is just.
I mean, just start off with Dave Foley as Flick.
Dave Foley, and this is when Dave Foley was still, I think, still kind of running hot with. He was on News Radio.
Yeah, when did News Radio start anyway?
News Radio, I think, started 95 or 90. I think 95 or 96. News Radio Hartman was still alive. So
yeah, News Radio was March 21st, 1985 premiere.
95 premiere, okay.
So yeah, this one had been
He was hot off of Kids in the Hall at that point too.
Yeah.
So, and I was at that time a really big Kids in the Hall fan, so I was excited to see him. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Princess Ada. She was still hot from Seinfeld.
And one of the first roles are of Hayden Panettiere.
Yep, exactly. Who would go on to do like Heroes and Nashville and other things.
And she also, sticking with the Disney family, she also voiced can't remember her name, but one of the main characters in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Okay.
Yeah, she voiced her in the first 2 games. I don't think they got her back for the 3rd movie because she's too big of a star now.
Yeah, I'm pulling up IMDb right now so I can get the whole.
I got it right here.
All right.
Oh yeah, we got Hopper as with Kevin Spacey.
Yep. Let's we're gonna separate the man from the art real quick because Hopper is one of the best villains ever in a Pixar film.
Yeah.
You really think about it though, Pixar doesn't have a whole lot of just like villains. I mean, they have antagonists, and there are some villains, but not like. A lot of Pixar movies are not the battle of good versus evil.
Yeah, that is true.
With Hopper, he's the bad guy throughout.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a secret reveal. You've got Phyllis Diller as the queen.
Yeah. I mean, this was also Malcolm McDowell's Malcolm McDowell? No.
Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, this was his last film.
Yeah, it was his last film. I'm looking right now because I think this might have been Madeline Kahn's last film.
Oh, crap.
I'm double checking that right now because she died very soon after this. She was in a movie called Judy Berlin, which came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jonathan Harris died in 2002.
David Hyde Pierce is in this one.
David Hyde Pierce. Richard Kind.
Richard Kind
is he's. I love him in every voice role he does. I love just him in general. I love him.
Richard Kind is a underrated gem.
Especially in this movie with just the whole, no, don't think a bomb.
Well, why don't you go talk to him? You're his brother.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't David Lander the voice of like the psychotic cricket grasshopper? Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. I'm looking.
John Rapson, Carlos.
John Ratzenberger, P.T. Flea, Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett does so many voice roles for Pixar and Disney. It's just hard to keep track of them.
Michael McShane. Wow.
Okay.
He's. I most know him from the British Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay.
He was the larger-than-life American who had a fantastic singing voice. He voices the Tuck and Roll twins, the Pilgrims.
Okay. Yes, David Lander played Thumper.
Nice. Bonnie Hunt's in there.
Yep, Bonnie Hunt is in here. Dennis Leary.
Yeah, Edie McClurg is in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is, like I said, this is one of these voice casts.
Oh, wow.
that
Even
is-
Ashley Tisdale is in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Must have been a young version.
Yeah. Christina Milian. Yeah, there are so, I mean, didn't do a whole lot of research before we watched this.
Well, hey, you're getting our authentic reactions then.
Exactly. No, this is just an astounding voice cast. Which is great too, because again, big Dennis Leary fan, so I was very happy to see him get a role. And I really like this. I love because when I heard about what his character was going to be, it's going to be a ladybug, but he's going to be a guy, and he's going to be voiced by Dennis Leary. I'm like, yes.
You already know where this is going.
I'm completely in on this. They let Dennis Leary be Dennis Leary in this. They let David Hyde Pierce be David Hyde Pierce.
And you know what? He's not a professional voice actor, but he worked a lot behind the scenes a lot of the time. John Ranft.
Yeah, Joe Ranft. Who did Heimlich?
Yes, and who? Wow, I didn't realize he passed away.
Yeah, no, he died a few years after this, I think.
Car accident. Yeah,
yeah.
He died in 2005.
He was a major part of the early days of Pixar, and he's got one of the best lines in the entire movie, though. I'm going to be a beautiful butterfly.
Beautiful butterfly.
And then when he finally emerges from his cocoon, he's got just the two itty bitty little wings.
He's still is exactly the same, just got the two little wings.
Yeah, he really steals this movie. He does.
He really does.
But there's a lot of fun gags in this movie that really just pay off. The whole thing where there's that big mishap at the bug bar when Flick is looking for warrior bugs.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that they have everybody look, they're in that tableau. And that's how he sees them.
One of my all-time favorite lines from this one though is oh, don't look at the light, don't look at the light.
I can't help it. It's so beautiful. That bug was voiced by John Lasseter. He's credited as Bug Zapper Bug number 1. So it's either him or the don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and I've made jokes before. This movie steals its entire plot from the Three Amigos.
It's like a combination of Three Amigos and Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven.
Which, yeah, and the Three Amigos stole from the Seven Samurai.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And you know what? If you're gonna make a bug version of the Seven Samurai, I think you can't. This is a perfectly reasonable version of that.
Yeah,
perfectly enjoyable.
This movie is like I said, this kind of feels like the Incredible Hulk of Pixar movies.
Yeah.
It's underappreciated, but nobody I know hates it. You can't just sit there and watch it. This sucks.
Yeah.
Bring on Cars 2.
I will have to say that it has one of the most disturbing endings of any Pixar movie.
Yep, first time. This is where you see the villain die, or not really. So not so much die, but you
get eaten alive.
The point of view of him looking down at those hungry chicks.
Oh, I'm like, ooh, disturbed much?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, what I loved that they did really well about this movie was the perspective, the size perspective, that birds are loud because they're so small. Raindrops are like boulders falling from the sky for them. And it's one of those things, it's going to rain, big deal. And then when they show it, it's like, oh, run.
Yeah. I think they got a lot of experience with perspective from Toy Story, obviously.
Right.
But then they just kind of doubled down and made them even smaller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, when last time you went to Animal Kingdom, or Have you tried It's Tough to Be a Bug?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've been on that. I've watched that show a few times.
Mm.
Actually, you know what? I enjoy it, and what I enjoy most though is not looking at everybody else at the end when all the
Yeah.
seats start wriggling. I like
Yeah.
looking at all the cast members and watching their reactions to everybody else's reactions. Because you
I've
can tell
only
it doesn't
actually
get
done
old.
it. I've only done it once, so next time I go, I'll keep in mind and
Yeah.
do that. That sounds awesome.
Um,
Um,
Actually, out in California Adventure, yeah, if you can reach, you can watch some videos online. The history of A Bug's Land on Disney's California Adventure.
okay.
Because basically, after California Adventure opened, it wasn't doing well at all, and
Yeah.
they needed something fast and quick just to get people coming in. So they made this little land, a Bug's Land, and they used just basically off the shelf carnival rides, but they themed into a Bug's Life. And you know what? For what it was designed to do, it did the job. It got people in, and
Okay.
it is now since been leveled, and it's going to be in that land is now being used to make Avengers Campus,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Well, our friend Matt Jones, who may still hopefully soon be again an employee of the Walt Disneyland.
Oh yeah, I've seen it out there actually.
Huh? Yeah.
I actually went out there and saw
That's
them.
right. That's right. He sent me a picture of that, like under construction with Stark Industries, and I'm like, they really missed the mark by not having that be a PIM Industries project.
Oh, don't worry. There is a film building in there.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying that if anyone was going to take down the Bugs Land, it should be the PIM.
Oh,
PIM
that's
car
fair.
or whatever it
That
is.
is fair. That is fair.
So I mean, honestly, I think the biggest fault of this movie, and I know you want to talk about this a little bit, is the Randy Newman score.
You know what? I don't like. I like the song. I like the song from A Toy Story. I just don't like Randy Newman's singing of it.
Yeah.
You Got a Friend in Me. I really hate his singing of the song from this one, and I just don't like the song in general. I think it's an awful song.
No, it is. It's almost like he used up all his juju with Toy Story.
Ladybug.
And actually, going back to the conversation I had with the movies after work, I kind of feel like I think it might have been Thomas who said that like this was his this was Randy Newman's commentary on how people thought he sang, so he was just gonna fine, let's do that then. Kind of like he's looking at Seth MacFarlane going,
"Hey man, had a lady reaching for an apple. Gonna take a bite."
Yeah, no, it's just, and I think that is a problem with. I kind of feel like it's a problem with John Lasseter in general. Is that John Lasseter gets very comfortable with
A little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he sticks with what he knows and what he likes,
Right.
which is why we got 3 Cars movies.
Right, exactly. We'll probably never see another Cars movie again now that he doesn't work there anymore.
No.
Which is a shame
because Cars Land is actually really fun.
Ka-chow! It's like Toy Story is ingenious, and we're not going to take away from the genius John Lasseter had with that. And honestly, I think Toy Story 2, which we will talk about maybe next week because it will be the next one, is better. This is really good because it takes you to a new place, and this is kind of how Pixar is setting their table. That they're going to take you places and introduce you to ideas that you weren't seeing in other animated movies.
Right, yeah. This was kind of like their, hey, look, we can do other things other than toys.
Right. Well, I mean, with Disney also essentially being the fairy tale company at that point, having having this more like real worldy type of thing where there's still enchantment and magic, but it's in everyday objects type of thing.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's that's what Pixar is known for. And then after Toy Story 3, what's the next thing last year?
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2, sorry. After Toy Story 2, I think it was Cars was his next.
Is that?
Yeah, because Andrew Stanton did Nemo. Pete Docter did Monsters, Inc. And Brad Bird did The Incredibles.
Oh, you're just talking about Lasseter.
Lasseter, yeah.
Okay.
Other than his producing work, because he was obviously the big decision maker at Pixar.
Yeah, I thought you meant like just Pixar movies in general.
Yeah, no, he just gets comfortable, and that again, like you said, the reason why we have so many Cars movies is because of Lasseter and his dad. He grew up with his dad, who was he a mechanic or?
I don't know what his dad did, but I do remember he has fond memories of just having road trips down Route 66, and that's why he had such a hard on for Cars movies.
Yeah. So, no. What'd you find?
No. After Toy Story 2 comes Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
sure
and that was Pete Docter.
Yeah.
Who is now essentially partially in charge of the entire animation studio along with Jennifer Lee.
Yeah, well, Pete Docter's in charge of Pixar. Jennifer Lee's in charge of Disney.
In charge of Disney, yeah. It's fine. But all in all, I mean, I really enjoy this movie. And it's one of these movies that if you're a fan of Pixar and you haven't watched it, by all means, watch it.
Yeah, it is absolutely worth a watch.
Yeah, so... Yes.
Yeah, no. Especially if you're a big fan of like Magnificent Seven, Seven Samurai, Three Amigos. It definitely has that feel. I mean, I guess it was inspired by an Aesop fable, but let's face it, you watch the movie, you know it's inspired by Seven Samurai, Three Amigos.
Or the Three Amigos, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's on Disney Plus, so if you are looking for something to put on for the kids that you haven't seen before, this is a good one to put on.
Absolutely.
So, that was Bug's Life. If we want to know what you think about Bug's Life, leave a comment below. Make it polite, please. If you think it's smoldering garbage, you can say smoldering garbage. Just don't insult anybody who really likes it, because I really like this movie. Don't forget, give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We are branching out this channel into new and newer, bigger frontiers. Last night, we premiered our Retro Records show.
Yes.
So, which is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of those. We've always got more of these retro movie reviews, and Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad, where you can check out all of our nerdly goodness. You can find us here at YouTube, but you can also get us wherever you get your podcast from. So Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, we are there, and we are open for business. Part 2 of our Warner Brothers Animated should be up this week.
Yes, I'm working on it now. Hopefully by tomorrow night, maybe Saturday.
Nice. And that's where we get away from Batman, talk about everybody else.
Yes.
Awesome.
Sorry, I just listened to that song.
Which song was that?
The Teen Titans theme.
Oh, which one?
When there's trouble, you know
Oh,
who to
okay.
go.
So I thought you were doing the Go.
Teen Titans. No, I don't even know the Teen Titans Go theme song.
It's fun.
Anyway, I'm looking up clips for that now.
So, if you want to follow us, we are on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. We are also on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. Check out the amazing swag that we have to offer at our TeePublic store. I did wash this shirt for everybody who watched last night's episode. I can do laundry in between. My washing machine's right over here.
Yes, you washed it, but when did you last wash it?
This morning.
Oh, okay. I fully believe you.
So you can check out our stuff at TeePublic, keyword Geek Salad Podcast. So with that said, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.